bloody kick it off. Hey there, guys. Welcome to Confessions of the Idiots. Everybody wants to confess, but not everyone wants to hear them. Today, I'm joined on the isolation tank for one of my favorite boys in the whole wide world. That's right. It's Zachary Ruane, which is my new catchphrase. Hello, Zachary Ruane.
Hello. I've decided
Shucker.
I'm just going to come in. I'm shuckers-ing you.
You're coming in pretty hot right
people
now.
have to follow you. They have to follow you on YouTube.com if they want to see me shuckering you.
Because
that's
it's pretty
a little
cool.
bit of cross promotion, and that's social media 101, Sam.
Where did you learn this, Zach? Where did you learn?
I learned it at VidCon. Have you heard of it?
I haven't heard of it.
VidCon.
What is that?
Who are some of your favorite influencers and YouTubers?
Frenchie.
Bet you're...
Stop. The end. Move on.
Yeah,
next question.
Great, fantastic. I always picture you as a Liza Koshy guy.
Don't even know who that is. But I love them.
Maybe you're into the new kids.
I love all the kids. I love what they're doing.
Charles is really breaking through on TikTok, or all the guys over at the Hype House.
All the guys. I love what they're doing. I think it's crazy. I think it's innovative. Not that I've seen any of it, but I think it's so innovative. Who are your favorite influencers of all time?
My favorite influencers, I've got to say the Spanish. The Spanish flu was fantastic.
One of your favorites, yeah. Really did wonders.
Yeah, the Hong Kong flu did great stuff. I like an influencer that makes an impact.
Right. Okay. Okay. You can say that.
Yeah. No, I just love all things, Sam. I love
everything.
I love all the beautiful influence. I've lost my train of thought. I was on a run and I lost it. But anyway, go to VidCon, learn how to social media, and the number one rule is tell everyone that's listening to go and subscribe to your. Do you even have a YouTube?
Oh yeah, I put videos up on the YouTube.
So these videos go up on the YouTube?
Yeah, on the YouTube.com, I believe. .com.
So I'm just going to constantly do visual gags for this whole thing.
Great. Yeah.
No.
Could you do like would you ever do like lots of slapstick, or because you've got quite a great visual, you've got a fantastic visual behind you, would you ever do some sort of like smooching, or like how far would you push it? See, that's quite nice and very enjoyable.
For anyone listening, the other day I had to pick a background because my spare room / study is very messy at the moment. So I was like, what would make a good background on the Sam Peterson podcast? Instead of cleaning up, because cleaning up takes 20 minutes.
It's hard.
Finding a funny background takes.
That's the time. In that 20 minutes, you can do another podcast.
I could do so many podcasts. I gotta tell you, Sam. I gotta stop doing podcasts. My God.
No, never stop.
No, I'll do yours. I love yours. But it's just, there's just a point. Like, I don't know what happened, but every comedian was just like, "Fuck, man, we can podcast on Zoom." I'm gonna finally do every podcast I've ever, and I'm like, I can say yes to every podcast. I haven't said yes to many, but I am losing my mind because Auntie Donna, now doing 2 podcasts. Auntie Donna.
Is that from VidCon?
No, you can see us at VidCon.
Okay, maybe I'll look it up.
We're skyrocketing on TikTok at the moment, man.
Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool, man. Maybe I will.
So I'm doing 2 podcasts a week with Auntie Donna. Me and Mish Wittrup, who I do recaps with Mish and Zach, which is our podcast for 4 people about season 1 of MasterChef Australia that you were on the other day.
Yes.
And will be when we will be releasing it probably in a few days, depending on the speed of release. We're doing like as many as possible in the desperate desire to stop watching season 1 of MasterChef Australia.
Great. But that means that you're just watching a lot of that in a very short amount of time. Is that what you're doing right now? You just
and it's not fun. And and it's funny thing where like I think Mish has really driven this where she's gone, let's just get it done. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm starting to realize like what's worse, like 3 weeks of like nothing but MasterChef Australia season 1 or 6 weeks of quite a lot of MasterChef Australia season 1.
Sure.
And I don't know the answer. And I'm also on your podcast. My plan is to take over this podcast. I'm on it a lot.
Yeah.
I did a podcast called Funny and Failure the other week.
Oh,
Do you
great.
know
That's a
Funny
real,
and
oh
Failure?
my God, that's a fantastic podcast. It's one of my favorites. It's
Yeah,
really good.
great.
Yes.
That was really good. And I went a bit in depth with him, and
Yeah.
it was a bit more serious.
Okay.
So I'm just doing a lot of podcasts. I'm doing this podcast with you. After that, I'm doing another podcast, recaps with Mission Zach
Are you
podcast.
doing another
Yesterday,
one
I did two
tonight?
podcasts. I'm doing another podcast tonight. I love podcasts.
That's why you can't clean up your room because you're doing too many podcasts.
Doing too many goddamn fucking podcasts.
But you love them, Zachary Ruane. And I've got two
Fantastic.
gorgeous, jazzy as confessions for
Can
you
I say
today.
one thing
You can
before
say
you
three
introduce
things.
these confessions, though? So I don't mind doing 1,000,000 podcasts a week, Sam. But what I do mind is the negativity. It's getting to me. The negativity that I bring to this podcast is getting to me. So I'm not going to be negative today.
Okay, great.
I've
You know-
been too negative with your confessors. So I'm going to come with a neutral,
Okay.
positive attitude. And I'm going to bring
Okay.
positivity to this podcast because that's important.
That's important right now.
People are bearing their souls.
That's true. And I mean, I want to see how long you can keep the positivity up for because I don't know how you're going to feel about both of these people. Because today, Zachary Ruane, we've got Marianne and we've got Josh.
Great.
So confession one is from Marianne. Marianne confesses 3,000 minutes.
Oh, I love that mystery. She's creating mystery here.
You're doing well so far.
He's done the maths.
So she says this
Good.
twice. So she says, Marianne says this twice. 3,000 minutes, 3,000 minutes. That is the amount of time that I've despised the ground that Edith walks on.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think about Marianne and Edith so far? Who do you think Edith is going to be, Zachary Ruane?
I think they're both people. Maybe they've been through some difficult times, and maybe they've made some bad choices. Let's not call them mistakes. They've made those choices, but I'm not going to judge the whole person on one choice.
You would never do that.
I love that she said 3,000 minutes twice. I don't know what amount of time that is, and
it's about 52 hours. I think that's what it is. I think I tried to work it out and then got very sick of it. And it only would have taken 2 more seconds, but I got sick of it.
Seconds.
Yeah, seconds.
Is she trying to say that's not a lot of time or a lot of time?
I
What's
think
she
she's
trying
saying
to do
it's
with the
not a lot of
3,000
time.
minutes?
I think she's saying it's not a lot of time, but I think putting
Why
it in
would you
minutes rather than
choose-
hours is...
Yeah. If you want to say it's not a long time,
Yeah.
why would you choose a smaller...
Yeah.
Because it has an impact, and I love it. I love Marianne.
Yeah. Like, I think she's going for she's romanticizing how long she's known Edith at the moment. She's trying to build up suspense on what she's done. And I think she's really achieving that at the moment. So she says, that's only as long as I've known her. You see, my dears, I'm a 52-year-old woman with a lot of responsibilities.
Great.
I have a family, all grown up, who left the nest a while ago. I have a husband, Jeffrey, and so much to offer the world. So Zach,
maybe
so far,
it's Jeffrey Rush. Maybe that's why she's making
Let's
some
not
bad
say
choices.
too much about Jeffrey Rush. Let's not get into too much about Jeffrey Rush at the moment.
No.
But even though he hasn't been in the news for a while, admittedly, but the thing about this, she has a lot to offer the world, Zachary Ruane. She has a lot to offer the world. And at the moment, we know this is Jeffrey and some grown-up kids. That's all we know. And she's got Edith. We don't know.
Who she hasn't liked for 3,000 minutes.
3,000 minutes. I really do. The only thing I do in my spare time is quite simple. I take an art class. Now,
Good for her.
Now, I'm not going to make this more complicated than it needs to be. I take an art class once a week and have been doing this for a few years now. Isn't that nice, Zachary Ruane? Because you need to find an interest. You need to stay. You need to stay engaged in the world that we live in. I mean, the world's gone mad, but we need to stay engaged. Do you think that an art class, Zachary Ruane, can keep you sane in these times? Do you believe that?
Well, not in these times. If this was written in the times of COVID, because I believe you wouldn't be able to go.
Oh, you could do a Zoom one, Zachary Ruane.
I've heard about the Zoom ones.
Yeah, everyone's doing Zoom. You got to get on it, Zachary. If you haven't done it already, you need to get on Zoom. Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's on Zoom.
Everyone's on Zoom. Old podcasts are on Zoom. I believe, did you do Funny and Failure over Zoom?
I did Funny and Failure over Zoom. I did
Great.
Auntie Donna over Zoom.
Podcast? Yep.
A podcast.
Podcast.
I do the Sam Peterson hour over podcast.
Yeah. And you also do you do the so that's Funny and Failure you do on that. Do you also do the recaps one?
Recaps of missions. I've never heard of that podcast in my life.
Never, not even in your whole goddamn life.
No, well, I have. That's my podcast with Mish.
That's your podcast with Mish. Of course, I know you were talking about it before, but I love humor and I would love that as a way to express yourself, especially in these dark times, Zach. We need humor. Would you agree?
We need humor and we need art classes.
We need art classes.
We need Edith to get off Marianne's back.
Well, she says, Jeffrey has golfing and has always divided his time between golfing, family life, and being an avid reader. If I could tell you the amount of times I've come home to see Jeffrey with
evenly divided?
Very evenly. Very
so
evenly.
He spends, it's not fair on the family.
Not fair on the family, but he does spend... He spends out of his 24-hour day, and she hasn't worked this out. She has gone to the extent of saying 3,000 minutes, but she hasn't worked out exactly the amount of time. I don't think Marianne's good with time. I will say that.
No.
But if I could tell you the amount of time I came home to see Jeffrey with a book on his lap, a glass of Pinot Grigio, and a thick, thick book. She doesn't go on to tell you the amount of times that has been, but I imagine it's a lot. The way she's describing that, we know that. But
yeah, no, she loves a thick book.
She loves a thick book. But as time went on, I found my little world a little lackluster. I'd always found that the kids being at home wore me down, but it was in fact that they kept me entertained all of those years. Such an easy mistake to make, isn't it, Zach? That while you're in something, you don't love it as much.
Yeah.
You know, not until after, in hindsight. Yeah. I liked baking. Sure, who doesn't? But I didn't have a passion that really got my blood boiling. So I spoke with Jeffrey late one night and he suggested that maybe I take an art class. Yes, very avant-garde.
Is she doing avant-garde art?
No, well, she doesn't go into that, but I imagine she is.
Well, she must be if she's saying it's avant-garde.
Wow, I think, Zach, that she's just a fun kind of gal who loves to use words that she doesn't completely understand. Or units of measurement.
These confessions have an upsetting amount of superfluous information.
Yep.
You just get sick of fucking tell us your problem with a vet. Or whatever the fuck her name is, cunt. What are you doing? Talking about
not a vet.
So
you didn't last very long in this positivity, Zach.
No, because I just want to fucking get to the point. She goes, I've been doing art classes to pass the time.
Yeah. And
then 3 paragraphs on how she had the kids and then the kids were fun but then they were a bit stressful and then she was bored and she talks about her husband's hobbies and then she talks about the time of day that she had the conversation with her husband where he suggested the art class that we've known about for 4 fucking paragraphs.
But we haven't learned anything about it.
And I don't know what her confession is yet.
Oh, well, Zach, you're going to bloody love it because it's a real doozy.
Oh, she probably fucks someone.
No, she doesn't. There's no fucking in this one.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's mix it up.
I'd always adored art, especially analysing every piece. But it was always something that I wanted to expand and, in fact, learn.
Yeah,
Not
cool.
that you can ever fully understand art.
We're talking about art now. Cool.
I love it that she's just talking about stuff we won't ever understand. So
no.
I took a class with many women in their 50s and 60s. It was always wonderful, really. And as time went on, I became friends with these ladies who paint too. So do you understand what a class is, Zach? Do you understand that
I know what a
it's
class
lots
is.
of different people?
I guarantee it. I guarantee everything you've read so far, everything you have read so far could have been 2 sentences.
Yep. Yep. I would like to see you
Guarantee
do
it.
this whole confession in 2 sentences after
I'm
this.
going to do it up until this point. We
Yeah.
might need some sentences
Okay.
all right.
I don't think we will. It was always wonderful, really. And as time went on, I became friends with these ladies who paint too. We were all in similar positions and had all decided to take this class because our love of all things in the art world. Do you understand, Zach? Do you understand they're all in this together, right?
And they're all older. They've got adult children that have moved out.
Have flown the nest, as they say.
But something happened 2 days and about some change ago.
But then Edith started. Edith was in her 40s.
Oh.
A fair bit younger than us, and she carried a certain energy about her that seemed to be quite uncouth and off kilter with the rest of us. She wasn't there out of boredom. She was there to expand her knowledge, to sell paintings of her own. So you think at the moment, what a bitch, Zach, to come in with different motivations than Marianne. To come into a class.
She was there out of boredom. She was to learn. What a bitch.
I just can't believe she's
done that. But then also, like, what art class works for both?
Like out of boredom and, it's usually a leisurely thing. If you're Marianne.
Is Marianne the one telling the story? Who's
Marianne's telling the story, and she hates Edith with a passion. And of course, she's married to beautiful Jeffrey, who doesn't come into this again. Doesn't come into it again.
So we never talk about Jeffrey.
We never talk about Jeffrey again.
Oh no, I'm downgrading to one sentence.
No, we do. Well, sorry, we do come back to Jeffrey, but he's not involved.
He's got nothing to do with the convention.
Got nothing to do with the convention, no.
But Edith is in the wrong class.
Yes,
if she wants to learn a vocational skill.
I don't think she read the curriculum correctly.
Yeah, the curricula vitae. Anyway.
Edith brought along with her a whole collection of her own mid-level portfolio to show us off. Mid-level.
Mid-level.
I don't know what that is, but I love it. I didn't like her right from the start and couldn't believe how pretentious she was. For the other ladies, it was like water off a duck's back. But for me, I really loathed her. It started off with me storming back home and telling Jeffrey how much she had ruined the class for me. I didn't need to tell him. I already poured myself a double brandy. So Marianne's the sort of person that if you pour yourself a double brandy, you know she's in a foul mood.
Yeah.
So you don't need, and that's the beauty of a relationship like that, Zach, that's lasted so long, is that if your partner is pouring a double brandy, you've been through so much together, you know not to talk to them. Yeah.
You know, inside out.
It's like how I say every morning, do not talk to me before my morning coffee. I love saying that. I say that a lot.
If we ever do a morning podcast, you're like, that's for me. I'm like, do not talk to me before my morning dexamphetamine.
But now I can't tell Jeffrey what I did. I cannot confide to him anymore because what I have done is so ghastly. So what do you think she's done? What do you think to Marianne to get back at
She did something to the portfolio.
Of course. Of course she does. Of course she does.
I've been doing this podcast a while now, Sam. I know exactly everything. They either fuck the handyman or they destroy the thing the person likes.
One night, human nature, Zach. One night, while Edith stayed back late, I ruined her portfolio. I poured paint all over her, saying 10 portraits. 10 portraits that she had with her. What's worse is I even smiled at Edith as I was leaving. She didn't smile back, of course. She's far too much of a busybody for that. So she really doesn't like Edith. Really. No. You can just tell. She doesn't like Edith at all. Not one bit. But now I've really screwed up. None of the other ladies in the class acted in this fashion. Of course I didn't. Perhaps I was threatened by her. She is a younger woman and a younger version of myself. And perhaps far more talented than anyone in the class. I suppose you could say her youth frightened me. Her unearned youth and talent. It's unearned youth, Zach.
I don't think that's quite... I don't think anyone earns youth.
I don't think they need to, Zach. I think it's
I
just
don't think
there.
to call something unearned, no one earns the age they're at.
No, no one
You
earns
might
it.
earn being old because you looked
Sure,
after yourself.
sure. You're weathered.
Anyway,
She never spoke to us girls and often laughed to herself. If one of the
except for that
ladies
time she showed them all their portfolio.
10 portraits. I wanted to punch her in the back of the head, but now, but now I can clearly see that I've done the wrong thing. Edith is furious, of course. So much work going into her portraits, and now she has to start from scratch. 3,000 minutes of knowing her seems to pale in comparison. Do I come clean to Edith and make amends? Perhaps she will understand if I can tell her that I was threatened of her. All right, so that comes from Marianne, Zach. That comes
Threatened
from
of her, did she say? Or was
threatened
that you
of her.
misreading?
No, threatened of her.
Really blew the landing there, Marianne.
Well, she was doing so well up until that point.
Yeah,
It was a beautifully written confession. So what do you think, Zach, in that point? So lovely Marianne. She's done the wrong thing, obviously. She doesn't want to tell Jeffrey because Jeffrey, he divides his time evenly between golfing, his book, and the
irrelevant
children.
information. Jeffrey did not need to be a part of this story. Nothing at the home had to be a part of this story.
Sure.
I'm going to break it down to a sentence. I started doing art classes to fill the time and keep my mind active after my adult children moved away. Someone moved in that took it more seriously than me, and because of jealousy relating to her youth and perhaps her talent, I poured paint over her portfolio. I've known this woman for 2 days. Should I tell her I did this?
Would you not include the that's one? I mean, that's wonderful. Would you not include the 3,000 minutes in there at all?
So did she know her for 3,000 minutes?
That's what yes.
That's an extreme
thing to do. Yeah.
After 2 days. I thought she did it 3,000 minutes ago.
No.
But she's known her for 2 days.
Yeah.
We don't know. Psychopathic.
It is psychopathic. I don't know though, Zach, if that means that she's done that many classes with her. Like if she's talking about the hours of the class, you could say, sure, that could be 2 years of class or one year of class.
Is that what you think it is?
Maybe, because I do think, but also she could well be a psychopath. We don't know. And I suspect maybe she is, because if she did that in the
how ironic that such a verbose piece of writing lacks important information. So much superfluous information.
Yeah.
And we're confused at the end of it.
And so, Zach, for you cutting all of this down, you wouldn't be using Jeffrey at all. There would be nothing about his golfing or the fact that our good friend Marianne used to adore art and still does and loves to analyze it. None of that would be making it into your edit. No.
Or I'd tie it back, Marianne. I'd go,
leave us wanting more.
Wanted to be. Why didn't she say something like, I always wanted to be a great artist. I would analyze art because I always wanted to be a great artist, and then I accepted that I never could be.
Sure. Yeah.
Really I don't think she should tell Marianne. That's such a psychopathic thing to do.
Oh,
or she should tell Marianne.
Edith.
Yep. Marianne should tell me. That's so full on what she's done. Like, there's been more full on things done on that you've read out to me on this podcast.
Yeah, of course.
But usually they're done with like years and
years of actually someone going through something and maybe
I don't trust this person. I hate this person. This person is constantly just chipping away at me.
Yeah.
It's like, I met a person 2 days ago and I fucked up their shit, man, because they were a bit brusque.
They were a bit brusque with me and I did not like that. Not one iota.
Not one iota.
And just having a double brandy and then going straight to that, maybe sit with that double brandy a little bit too long. She's not going to find the answers at the bottom of her glass, let me tell you that much, but maybe it'll calm her down a bit.
Sleep.
Have a little sleep.
Sam, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm in your lounge room right now, am I?
You
Is that where
are.
this
Yeah,
photo was taken?
that's photo was taken in my
What's this lovely cushion I'm looking at here?
That beautiful cushion right there it's actually a kind of a feathered cushion that
Yeah.
is much like Doris the cat. It is actually the same sort of fur as Doris the cat, so she likes to kind of
Yeah.
lay on that and believe that it is her.
Lovely.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Lovely.
Yeah. Well, Zach, that you are in my lounge room and we are still social distancing, I've got one more confession for you, and I hope that you like this person a lot more than you like Marianne, because this
Well, I'm back to the
confession-
positivity. I'm
back to the
giving it another
positivity.
go.
This beautiful confession comes from Josh. Josh writes,
Josh Lawson?
It's Josh Lawson. I don't write, let's say it's Josh Lawson. I don't write a lot, so excuse me for this not understanding etiquette or anything here. Okay?
Okay. Good
I'll
for
just
him.
dive right in. A lot of women have described my dick as magic.
Love it.
A lot of them just have. That's actually true. It's a fairly large dick, and it's quite pretty too.
Right.
Women seem to love it, and often can't get enough of it. So not always, Zach, but often they do.
I love that he described his dick as pretty.
It is
Good.
pretty,
Good for
pretty
him.
dick, yeah. He's got
Yeah, I think a
confidence.
dick can be pretty.
Yeah. The reason I call it magic dick is because it's like crack to a lot of women. They just can't get enough. But now I feel like cutting it off and being done with the whole magic dick. It's crazy, really, that something that has given me so much joy has also caused me a lot of problems. So, Zach, you've got a magic dick, right? You've got a magic dick. I've always said that about you. What would cause you to now hate the thing that has given you a lot of pleasure and is crack to a lot of people? Is there anything that could happen?
If it hurts someone's feelings?
If it hurts someone's feelings, yeah. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to hurt someone with his magic dick, Zach. That's what we know. It's crazy, really, that something that has given me so much joy has also caused me a lot of problems. There's a famous saying, thinking with your dick. And that's exactly what caused me these problems.
I love that he said I'm going to just jump straight into it at the top.
Yeah.
Because
he really hasn't.
He really is not.
And that's exactly...
I got a magic dick. My dick is magic. I call it magic because it's like crack. Now let me tell you why I call it crack dick. Because it's like magic. And girls love crack. And they love my dick. My crack dick, which is magic. My magic crack dick. Now let me tell you why it's magic. But it makes me sad, my magic dick.
But then he's like, I don't think you understand. Let me explain it again. He's really doubling back on a lot of stuff here. And that's exactly what my dick has done to me. It made one of the... It made one of the worst decisions of my very own life for me.
Wow.
And that is that I had sex with my best mate's mum. Now... it was gross. Zach, this magic dick did this for him. I hope you understand that he didn't do this. He did not have any part of this. This is his crack magic dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are all out for his birthday and I went home with her. It's pretty simple, really. I had always had a bit of a thing for Yvonne and she had... I love that her name's Yvonne.
And I love that the name, when I was Edith, I was getting Edith's name wrong. I was calling her Yvette. So I was very close to Yvonne.
Very close to...
feel Yvonne in the room.
You knew. You've done this podcast so many times. You can always feel when an Yvonne is coming. A thing for Yvonne. And she had known I was a bit of a ladies' man. She had known about the legend of my magic dick. It was something the boys always joked about, but also took pretty seriously when they needed to. It's a nice little aside, I thought. The boys do take it seriously because they don't always joke about his magic dick, Zach. They're not animals.
Yeah, sometimes they take it seriously when they need to. His magic pretty dick.
I don't know what situation would be that serious where they're like, nah, but for real, guys, let's be real. Like,
guys, let's stop here. I know that we've been talking about the magic crack dick. It's a magic dick and it's magic and it's crack.
I know we've been razzing each other up for some time, but it really...
Now we're going to talk serious, man.
Can we... Wordplay. Can we talk serious for a sec?
Is dick and magic?
about the legend of the magic dick. It was something the boys always joked about, but also took pretty seriously when they needed to. And so Yvonne
You
had
need to
heard.
take a magic dick seriously.
Now,
What
come
the
on. Let's take it
fuck?
seriously. And so Yvonne had heard about this a little bit in her years. But that night, she was looking at me in a whole different way, and I was bang up for it. I was ready for it. And that night gave her the walloping of her life. That surprised me, and I've read this before. I didn't see the word walloping come when I was reading it because it's just not a word that would stand out to me.
Like that overtakes. What was the other week? Dense dick
And stick,
is the
yeah.
is the least sexy. You walloping.
Gave her the walloping of her life.
Chicks love a wallop.
It's like crack to them. Do you mind if we can do can we make whoopee or have a quick wallop? The next day, she asked me not to tell her son, but it was his birthday and I ruined it. I'm feeling awful about it is all. I don't want to have sex ever again. And to think I'm only 25. The fucking years of my life. Oh, sorry, the fucking years of my life. I think that's how I meant
great.
to. Yep.
Yeah.
And now I really need to tell my mate what my dick did. He might understand, he might not, but I can't just not tell him what I did to Yvonne. That would drive me mental. All right, so he hasn't necessarily ruined. This is Josh. He hasn't necessarily ruined Josh's night because it was Josh's birthday. Sorry, it was his mate's birthday. His mate has no idea what happened between Yvonne and him. He has no idea that Josh gave his mum, Yvonne, a walloping. He has no idea about a walloping. He has no idea about that. So he's just going to go for it. He's just going to go and tell him. And Yvonne said, look, you've got a magic dick. And he's like, let's take my magic dick serious for a sec. It did this, and I never want to have sex again. Like, he's being a little bit dramatic about it, isn't he, Zach? Saying, I never want to have sex again because of what my magic dick done.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Josh needs to tell his friend, Zach?
Yes. If my friend at 25 had sex with my mother, I would want nothing more than for them to come and say, my magic dick gave your mother a wallop.
Amazing.
That's what I
You'd
would
want that. Of course, the day after your birthday.
I would want to hear that the day after my birthday.
Would you take him some fried food? Because that always helps, so I've read, with a hangover.
Oh, yes. I'd bring him some fried food and I'd say, look, I feel awful, but I think it will help all of us if I tell you I gave your mother a wallop with my magic dick. And I think his friend in that situation would go, Josh, thank you.
Thank you. Very kind.
Thank you so much. I forgive you for walloping my mother with your crack magic dick.
Because at that point, you would have to take the magic dick serious. If there was a time to do it.
Take it seriously.
Yeah. And the boys know that. So I think that they would understand that.
In all seriousness, no, don't tell the boy. I don't know why you need to tell him that. That's silly. Don't be silly.
Yeah. You know what Yvonne's like? She's going to have just a great time. Yvonne had a wonderful walloping that night. That's what Yvonne's always wanted.
Yvonne, maybe I'm being crazy here. Maybe I've just been on this podcast too many times and my moral compass has gone.
Sure.
But I don't think what he did is that bad.
Right. Okay. You think it's fine to have sex with a lovely lady like Yvonne?
Yeah. I think it is.
You're supportive of it.
I think Yvonne is an older woman. Now, maybe there's
Sexy
a situation. There's a few details that I'm not crazy. Like, how long has Yvonne known him for? Like, if she's known him since he was 10, then Yvonne has done a bad thing.
Sure.
But Yvonne has needs and desires.
Of course.
It's not. I don't think Yvonne needs to share what she does with her son.
No. a few brandies with the boys that night as well.
That's it.
Yvonne might have had a few espressos.
Is it that bad? She's an adult. He's an adult. The friend is an adult.
Yep.
Maybe it complicates things, but it's not like anyone's in a relationship.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Josh seems a bit dumb.
Yeah, he's a silly boy.
He's a silly boy, and maybe that's
He's
what
got a
Yvonne
magic
needed.
crack dick.
Maybe Yvonne needed to be walloped. Have we thought about how much she wanted to be walloped?
Wanted a wallop.
Wanted a wallop, and Josh was going to give it to
I
her.
think that two consenting adults gave each other a wallop.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't tell anyone. Give anyone a wallop and don't tell anyone.
Well, no, you would. Here's the thing I would say. No son needs to know. No child needs to know the walloping that their mother or father took or gave.
Sure.
That's you don't want to know.
You don't need to know.
Yvonne wanted a walloping, and she got a walloping.
Yes.
And Josh has a magic crack dick.
Of course he does. You know this.
That dick is very magic, and it's made of crack.
These are facts we know. We're dealing with facts here.
If an adult wants a wallop from a crack dick, well, they should take it.
They should take it.
I think it's all fine. I think
it's all fine?
I don't even think it's you did something wrong and now you don't need to tell anyone.
Great.
I think they had some sex, and I don't think if you were to tell the friend and then say, would you like to get MIB light sticked? Have you seen Men in Black International?
No, I haven't.
Oh, right. So it's a film I saw. I think there's other ones as well, but Men in Black International.
I've never heard of it. Right.
No.
With Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Right.
Anyway, you know the Men in Black light stick that makes you forget your memory?
Yes.
If you were to tell the friend, is it Tom?
Don't know if we know the friend's name. We know Josh and we know
So
Yvonne.
Yvonne's son, if you were to tell Yvonne's son, hey, I had sex with your mother.
Yep.
Now, would you like me to wipe that memory?
Yeah.
He would go, yes, please.
Yes, please. I would love you to do that forever. And there's probably some other memories I'd like you to erase too. Yeah.
So I think he would want him to not tell him.
Sure. Okay. I think that's smart.
My theory. And I think Yvonne wanted a wallop.
Yep.
I think everyone's good. I think the only bad thing he could do right now would be to tell the friend.
Yeah. Yeah, great. And you're living with that. Just live with that guilt, because if you're going to feel guilty about it, sure, but you don't need to go and ruin that relationship. No. There's no point doing that. Live with the guilt.
But don't live with the guilt. A consenting woman wanted a walloping from a magic crack dick.
Can you blame her? For God's sake, she's only human.
She's only human. Yeah, and the dick is big and pretty.
Big and pretty. Zachary,
pretty and made of crack.
Zachary Ruane, thank you again for joining me on the podcast, my friend. You've got, of course, the recaps with Zach and Mish, and I'm on an episode that's coming out soon at some point.
Very soon. When is this episode coming out?
I was going to put this episode up on Thursday.
So today is Thursday. I reckon it's coming up in the next couple of days.
In the next couple of days, guys. Okay. So look it up. Recaps with Zach and Mish. Look up Arnie Donna podcast. Look up Zachary Ruane. That is at Zachary Ruane on Instagram. Look it up. Funny and Failure coming up very soon. Funny and Failure is coming up in the next few weeks. Are you saying the next few weeks?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I think I was in a bad place. I think I bared my soul a little too much. So I don't want you to listen to that one.
Don't listen to that. Don't listen to Funny and Failure, but definitely listen to recaps and definitely
Arnie Donna. Listen to the Sam Peterson Hour.
Yeah, the podcast.
Me and Mish are working on our next thing, which is was going to be season 2 of recaps, but I think we're going to. So follow me on at Zachary Ruane, because we'll be announcing that soon. That'll be a fun little thing.
A new podcast with you and Mish. That's exciting.
Yeah, well, yeah. Season 2 has become something new.
Oh, very exciting. You're so over MasterChef. Oh, what a sizzle. Oh, that's my new sound effect that I'm doing. Hey,
Easily.
I'll see you in the living room very quick. Oh wait, I'm already behind you, lol.
Hello.
That's just a
Hey,
visual
Sam.
gag.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. A
That's a
little visual gag for all your YouTube subscribers. And tell me, I don't want to subscribe to your YouTube. I imagine it costs way too much money.
No, not even a cent. You hear? You can get the link for free. You can watch the whole thing. There
I
ain't
said I don't want to
even...
subscribe to your YouTube. Okay, so just back the fuck off.
All right. I got a magic dick, bruh. You back? All right. We're back on board. Good night, Australia, and good night, Zachary Ruane.
Good night.